The Fillmore Central Falcons ended the regular season with an 8-0 record. They got the job done last week, 28-16 over Kenyon Wanamingo. Head coach Chris Mensink joining us. And Coach, what were the takeaways from last Wednesday night?
Well, it was what a great ending to the football season, the regular season. We had a great crowd. We knew it was going to be a tough opponent, with Kenyon coming in. We hadn't seen them. They had some nice wins on their side, and it turned out to be everything it was advertised to be. Our kids, I think the big difference in the game was the turnover margin. We got a fumble from them, and then we intercepted that pass to end the half that Jace Keeney took 100+ yards for the score. That was a real nice momentum swing for us going into half. We knew getting the ball in the second half, that was good for us to have that 14-0 lead. In our first drive, we ended up scoring 2. So we took that 21-0 lead, but we knew Kenyon wasn't going to roll over, and they came back, and it was 21-16. We were able to get that fumble and punch one more in to get that 28-16 win.
What'd you learn about your team in the regular season?
Well, I think the biggest thing I learned is, even we had a couple tighter games this year, and our kids responded the way we anticipated and hoped they would. Sometimes when you get some of those lopsided victories, you wonder, how's your team going to perform and how are they going to react in a closer game? And I think our kids buckled down and they didn't panic, and they stuck to the plan. And I think that's the biggest thing I learned is in those tight games, they've responded the way we wanted.
And defensively, you've been able to make those plays. You talked about the fumble that you took away from them and got a touchdown late in the ball game. Also that pick six. What has made your defense such a playmaking defense and not just one that's just going to put up the roadblock and force a team to punt?
Right. Well, you look at Kenyon had some nice longer drives on us. If you look at the statistics, and they took a lot of time off the clock. So that was kind of coming into the game. We said, we got to get ahead. We got to score quick and try to get ahead, because a team like that, it makes it tougher and tougher for them to come back. So I think our defense has been opportunistic, and they realize those things. They stay with the plan. They don't get frustrated. And we have a lot of speed on defense. I think that helps as well. We haven't given up the big play, and it's going to be tough to get a big play on us with the speed that I think that we have, especially on the back end. So I think that the kids, as the season has went along, again, we have some kids that have we moved to some different positions this year, and they're trying to find their way, and they've kept improving week by week. And so the trust in our defense is definitely growing every week. So I think those are the big things for us defensively.
And when you look at this stretch that you're in, obviously a tight turnaround from last Wednesday night, and you hope to play 3 games in 11 days, hopefully getting a victory on Tuesday night. How do you handle this from a perspective of trying to keep your kids as physically fresh as possible, and perhaps even more importantly, mentally fresh as possible?
Right. I think this is, it's been our philosophy for many, many years. With this MEA break, you go from Wednesday to that Tuesday turnaround. We gave our kids Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Everybody kind of just needed a break from football, from each other, just to refresh and recharge those batteries. We've sent some film out, and everybody was kind of instructed to do some things on their own and get out and do some movements and things like that. But we've found that our kids come back on Monday hungry and ready to go, because if you get to where you want to be, right, really the season in Minnesota is only half over. If you're going to win a state title where you want to be, there's a lot of football yet to be played. And like you said, and this next stretch is the critical one with those 3 games in 11 days. If you can get there, you've got to keep those bodies fresh and health. And you look at our district, there's some teams now that are dealing with some injuries, and fortunately right now we're in good shape that way. So we take a lot of, our strength and agility coach looks at those things and has prepped those kids' bodies just like he needs to do. So that's a big piece of our team right now.
Hayfield comes to town. They were your week 1 opponent. How are they a different team now than they were in week 1?
Well, they do. Week 1, they were running just a couple different formations, and I think they've really diversified their offense. I think they're running 7 or 8 different formations. They try to do some similar things out of those to keep it simple for their kids, but definitely are more eclectic than they were the first time we played them in week 1. So definitely a lot to prepare for in a short turnaround.
And what's it going to take to knock them off and move on to Saturday?
Well, we're very hopeful. We're happy to be at home. You know, that's the big thing about getting that number one seed. You get to be at your place with our crowd there. Again, we have to worry about us first of all. We got to stay sharp. We got to execute. We got to take care of the football. Obviously, you're playing for tomorrow. You don't get another chance, right? So you got to look at the play in front of you, and execution is going to be a huge thing. And turnovers this time of year, it doesn't matter if you turn the ball over. Anybody can beat anybody.
All right, Coach. Hopefully you can get a victory on Tuesday night, and we can have another conversation later this week. Keep kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it.
Chris Mensink, head coach of the Fillmore Central Falcons. It's Fillmore Central and Hayfield Tuesday night.